Guess what? I'm back. Well, that's why you're watching this video. I am back on YouTube. I am so excited. I'm going to be creating long form videos for you. I'm going to be doing vlogs. I'm going to be doing get ready with me's, hair tutorials, taking you around Chicago, all my travels, all the things. And I'm sorry it's been so long. It has been an interesting year so far, and I just didn't have the time to be here, to be doing tutorials, long form. It just, between all of my responsibilities, I had to choose like what I was going to have to put on pause, and long form was on pause, but it is back. I did Vlogmas last year and I vlogged every single day. Well, almost. I think I did like 22 out of the 24 days. And we'll talk about December later on. I can't think about December right now. My background is very messy right now. I'm sorry I didn't clean up for you. I have been trying to do a million things today, and one of my goals was get a YouTube video out. So that's what we're gonna do. I decided to answer a lot of the frequently asked questions that I receive on my comments of my videos across all platforms, and give you a chance to ask me more in the comments below. I also wanna know, what kinds of videos would you like to see me doing on here? Now, if you say vlogs, be a little bit more specific. I tend to do vlogs where I'm just like talking to the camera versus taking you around. There's something weird to me about walking around Chicago with like my vlogging camera, which, by the way, I'm usually using this like handle right here, but it's not a handle, it's a whole tripod sitch. And I like walk around the city like this, and it feels a little odd. But I did buy, hold on, let me show you. Seriously, apologies for this mess. Also, it's about, I think the feels like is like 100 degrees Fahrenheit in Chicago right now. Let's see. Feels like is 103, which I don't know what the feels like is, but it's 34 Celsius, but then add more for like the feels like. So yeah, it's a lot. It's hot out, but I was gonna say is I also bought the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, so I can film more with these. They're also like really cute, but they don't film horizontally, so that's not really gonna work for YouTube, which, whatever, you can find that on my other socials. So let's talk about what is new lately. I have been just having a really busy summer. Last summer was the summer of travel. Last summer I went to, not even summer, but I started off, oh my gosh, and I went to Paris in March. I went to the Keys in April. I went to, where did I go in May? Oh, I went to Hawaii in May. I went to Switzerland in July, and it was a very busy year. This year I have been for my day job, I had to travel to Barcelona for work, which I didn't get to explore the city at all, which kind of just like wasn't as fun when you're like holed up in a hotel room or in a conference room. But I did that, and I have been to New York twice. Oh my God. I started off with my Italy trip. I don't even know how I could forget that. I hosted a group trip. Some of you who are watching may have been on the trip. There were 18 of us. We went to the Italian Riviera, and then a couple days before I went on my trip, I found out that I was going to have to be in Barcelona for work. And so I decided to stay in Europe, and I went to Paris again, which I'm obsessed with Paris. And I spent a few nights there, and then I popped on over to Barcelona and then came home. I was gone for like 2 weeks. I was home for 1 week. I went to New York for 24 hours, a little bit less than. I did spend the night with one of my friends that I used to work with. And then 2 weeks later, I went back to New York for a friend's wedding. And it was quite the spring for me. So I have not traveled since May. Well, I came home the day before my birthday. My birthday's June 2nd. I came home June 1st. It is the end of July, and my next travel plans are in October. I'm going to Vegas with some of the ladies that I went to Italy with. And then I may have some like Southwest Michigan trips or things coming up. We shall see. This is my new Lazy Boy. It's like super deluxe and I love it. What else? Let's see. What else have I been up to? I'm really excited. Tomorrow I'm going shopping with my nieces. I will not be able to film because I do not put them on camera, but I I am really excited. Me and my sister like promised that we would take the younger one shopping for her birthday because we did it for the older one. They're only like 18 months apart. No, 20 months. And so her birthday was the end of May. And every time I see her, she's like, Jen, I've been waiting forever. When are we gonna go shopping? So my sister and I are taking them tomorrow to a mall. Well, I don't know actually, because we're gonna go in the suburb that my dad lives in because the girls love Athletic Girl and there's an Athleta there. But now like I need to text my sister and be like, hey, actually I should just like text her now. Like, what do you think of thoughts on maybe Old Orchard? I thought I would answer some questions on this vlog because I don't know what else to talk about. I know we're reading glasses, but aren't they like so cute? Like there's something, I feel like there's mostly women watching this, and if it's not boys, oh, these are dirty. You can, whatever, just deal. For some reason, and this was not to be sad, but I lost my mom like a little over a year and a half ago. And ever since then, like my reading vision started to go. And now my mom had told me she was in her early 50s when her reading started going. My dad, the same thing. I think it was the stress. I think it was the stress really, and just like the impact of that on me. My vision started to go a little bit. We're like, it's just like more comfortable to use reading glasses. But when it is like that time of the month, like a week before, my vision just goes. Like for the week before and the week of it starts to get a little better. But my God, it is like so much clearer to use my phone with glasses on. I'm editing all the time, obviously, for all of my socials. And yeah, this is just like how it is. So I do a lot of Ask Me Anythings on Instagram, and I was thinking that maybe I could answer, no, I'm definitely gonna answer a lot of the questions that I receive, because I feel like that would be a really good way to, now I need to like find this, like when did I ask last? Oh my gosh, when did I do an AMA? Is it time to do another one? It might be. Are you dating anyone? That is the most frequently asked question. Am I dating? And yeah, I have been going on dates with someone. I've been going on quite a few dates with this person, and he is not on social media. He doesn't want to be on social media. It is not official. He's not my boyfriend. But I'm really, really having a great time, and you have that exclusive info here. So I don't talk about it on my other socials. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm like really happy. I just started following you. I'd like to hear more about your journey. Do I need these? I could go like that. I just started following you. I'd like to hear more about your journey in the early years. So I'm guessing they mean on social media. Well, right here on YouTube is where I started. My first video ever was on September 3rd, 2015. So we're coming up to my 10-year anniversary of being on social media, and it seems like that long. It took me 5 years to get a following, and it wasn't really even on here. It was on TikTok in early 2020, and then just less than 12 months ago on Instagram, which has like changed my life. And it is something that started off as a hobby. It was fun. The reason I started, a lot of people ask me like, how did you start? Like, what was the catalyst? Well, I wanted to start years before. I was just so intimidated by the editing and things like that. Like, I was like, I don't know how to edit. What does YouTube mean? Like, what do people do? I had no idea. And I had one of my friends who I was working with at the time, he's like, just do it, just do it. And I waited 3 years, and I didn't do it right away. And I wish I did. I mean, I've learned a lot in the years since, but I think that my career trajectory would have been much different if I would have started in 2012. But that's okay. Things happen for a reason, and we are here. And yeah, so I started on YouTube. And then I remember it was early 2020, pre-lockdown, and I was living with an ex, and I said, hey, this is my last year on YouTube. I'm done with social media. Like, Instagram's not hitting, YouTube's, I worked really hard for 3,000 subscribers, it's been 5 years, like, I know that that's not, that I could do better. And I was like, you know what? I learned a new hobby. I learned how to edit. I had so much fun with it, but it wasn't bringing me joy anymore. And I had started posting on TikTok. I think my first one was in November of 2019, maybe a second one in December of 2019. And then I posted one a few days before lockdown. And then my 6th video kind of hit, and for me went viral. I don't think it hit 1 million, but it was a lot of views. And within a couple months I had 20,000 followers, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is like actually happening. Okay. It was crazy because the videos I was doing on TikTok were Amazon hauls. So it was nothing like what I was doing on here. It was nothing like, I wasn't passionate about it, but we were then in lockdown and I was buying a ton of stuff on Amazon. You couldn't go into stores. So I kept posting. I created a second account, Digital Speaking Coach, which I cannot get into on TikTok, and I haven't been able to in years. And I still am doing public speaking coaching. So if you're interested, just reach out. I was doing the Amazon hauls, and I started doing like Sephora, things that I was kind of doing on YouTube. And I was still doing YouTube. I was still vlogging, and I was vlogging through the pandemic. And then I started switching. Oh no, I stopped posting. I went through a breakup. I was living with him. We had to break the lease. Oh my God, I had to pack 3 times within like 14 months. It was insane. And I was like, I just stopped posting on everything. And I don't know how long it was, 3 or 4 months maybe. I popped back and I started to do a lot of Chicago history, Chicago things to do, or not things to do because you couldn't do anything, but Chicago history. And then as the restaurants started opening, I started posting about different restaurants, my favorites, things like that. And I would put in a vlog or two because I knew vlogging from, oh my gosh, what is going on? I knew vlogging from a YouTube point of view, but I didn't know what that looked like if I only had 60 seconds. Because back then in 2020, 2021, you could only have 60 seconds on TikTok. And then they increased it to 90 seconds and then 10 minutes. But then like Instagram was like nothing. I didn't get any following literally until, I have it in my notes, like October of 2024, I hit 40,000, October 4th. So it's been a journey. But yeah, I started posting vlogs, and then I remember I turned 40 and I was like, you know what? I think it's time to tell the internet that I'm 40. And I just said, this is a day in my 40-year-old life. And that is what I started posting about. And when I turned 41, I have this PR woman that I work with a lot. And she's like, what are you gonna say? Like, you're turning 41 tomorrow. I'm like, ooh, I don't know. She's like, what about 40 something? I was like, love it, let's do it. So I started doing a day in my 40 something life, and the rest is history. So I definitely stopped vlogging here. I stopped posting on YouTube long form. It was just too much to do with the day job, with everything. And now I post about my vlog, or on short form, I do vlogs, I do get ready with me's, I do hair tutorials, which I filmed today, and I'm really frustrated because I filmed like me doing my hair because people have been asking about it. And I was like, oh, let's use the back camera because that gives me a better view, or better like crispness. It was out of focus the entire time. So we had to scrap that one. But yeah, here we are. I am ready for the next evolution of my content. I always like to step it up, change it up. And I don't know what that's going to be, if that's with editing, which is really, I mean, I've become better at editing. I've become better at filming. I can always continue to grow and get better and learn new things. I don't know if I want to have fun with it, if it'll look too cheesy. If you have ideas for content you want to see on here and on short form, you let me know because I am open to it. Have you ever been married before? No. My favorite TV show ever is Schitt's Creek. I love that show. I've watched it at least 4 times over. I randomly watch an episode every night. It is so funny to me. I want to hang out with David and Alexis, and I think it's so funny. I love it, love it, love it. Favorite dessert. Fun fact about me, I don't love dessert. I prefer salty and savory. But if I had to choose a favorite dessert, anything that's not chocolate, which is another fun fact that I don't love chocolate. I love it once a month for like a day or two, and that's about it. I do like dark chocolate. I love a cheesecake with maybe like a strawberry or raspberry sauce on it. I do love that. That's probably one of my faves. A dark chocolate mousse cake. There's a very specific one at a restaurant called Beatrix in Chicago that I absolutely love. So that one I would say is that's it. Have I ever been to Australia? No, but it's on my list. Favorite job I've ever had? This one. Hands down, by a mile, this is my favorite job I've ever had. I love every single part of it. I love the planning, I love the strategy, I love creating content, I love editing, I love responding to comments, I love meeting you in real life. I love every single part about this, and it is my dream job, and it makes me so incredibly happy. The favorite place I ever worked was Cars.com. I was there for 8 years. I made some lifelong, you know when you have a hair that's just like, I made lifelong friendships, people that I am very, very close to today, and that was, yeah, my favorite company that I ever worked for. How do you make friends in your mid-40s as a single woman? So making friends in your 40s as a female I know that it's challenging for most. I am a very outgoing person, not naturally, actually. I used to be very, very quiet and shy, but I am an outgoing person. So I talk to people at Pilates, at my Pilates classes. When I'm out, I make connections. I become friends with friends' friends, and I'm always out and about talking. But if that's something you're not as comfortable with, like you're gonna have to step out of your comfort zone a little bit, because if you don't talk, like it's really hard to meet people. People say this all the time, do things that you love. So if you love to run, and you usually run solo, join a running club. If you're like, I am not big on fitness, but I do like going for walks, I'm sure there's a walking group in your neighborhood or your area that you live in that you can look up on Facebook. Facebook has so many great groups that I have been a part of. I have my own Facebook group. It's kind of a mess right now, so don't judge. It's old, I'm not managing it. And you know, I always say if you have the chance to, or if you live in a big city and you live in a high-rise building, going to the social events is like key to meeting new friends. What is my go-to snack? I don't really have one. Cheese, I guess. Cheese could be a go-to snack. My question is, do you own or rent, and why? Pros and cons. That's like 3 questions in one. I own my place. That needs to be organized right now. And I bought it almost 4 years ago. I rented for about, how long? 5 years before that, and I owned for 9 years before that. So I've had a good mix of like own, rent, own. I love owning, knowing that I have made an investment into real estate in a neighborhood that is still growing, but renting was so much easier. It was so much easier, especially in like a nice high rise, because like there was an app. If something was making noise, or I could take a picture of something, upload it to the app, and then like when I came home from work, it was like done. I love the common areas. I love the social aspect of it. I really preferred, that was really nice. That was really, really, really nice. Happiest moment this year. I have to say right now, I am the happiest I think I've ever been in my life. Things are going really well. And I mentioned I'm dating someone. I'm loving the content creation, where it's going. I hired a brand manager, so I have a manager now for my social media, which is really exciting. I've been working with her for a couple months now, and like my friendships are all great. My family, it's not that, if you've lost a parent, which I hope you haven't, but I know a lot of you have, for me, gave me a new perspective on life, and just going for things that maybe you wouldn't have before. It really shows you that life is short. People say that all the time, but when you see it with your own eyes, and it's your mom, or maybe you're not close to your mom, but when it's someone that you're close to, it just puts everything in perspective. And I've made it a point to choose things every day that make me happy, and I'm at this point where I am overwhelmed with the amount of things that I want to do and can do, and that's why I just decided to give up on this. This was clean last night. Today it became somewhat of a mess. So yeah, I'm the happiest I've ever been, and it's pretty incredible. Do I get recognized often? I do. I think it's often because even getting recognized once ever to me is like crazy. Yeah, when I walk around Chicago, there's a good chance I'll run into someone. It hasn't happened in like a couple of days, but it goes in waves. I was dog sitting up on my dad's in the suburbs, and like it happened 4 times in one day, which was wild because I didn't expect it to happen in the Chicago suburbs. But it does happen when I walk around Chicago. It's really cool. I think that I'm more excited than you are when we meet, because I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I just like wanna like chat, and people are so nice. It's happened in some pretty cool places. So sometimes when I'm just like walking down the street, or I was on, when I boarded my flight to Barcelona, this woman was like, hi, like, I love your videos. I'm like, oh my gosh. The coolest was in Paris this year. I was eating breakfast at my hotel, and this woman came up to me and she was like, I love your videos. I live in New York. And then her and her husband invited me out to dinner with them in New York. It was incredible. They were so wonderful. And it was just so cool to be in Paris, to meet someone in Paris who lives in New York. It was incredible. It was so fun. So I love it. Any more girl trips planned? So I hosted a trip, as I mentioned, to Italian Riviera. I don't know. It was not that I'm not wanting to work hard. It took a lot of time. It was really stressful, and I don't know if I would do it again. I don't know. I'm still undecided on that. Favorite comfort food? I love fries. I feel like you give me a good order of fries, I'm in. I like pizza, I like burgers, I like all those things. Okay, these glasses are really helping you guys. Let's see, are you an only child? No, I am the oldest of 3. I have a brother, I have a sister. Do I follow any professional sports? No, I don't. I was a Division I athlete. I was a 2-sport Division I athlete. I was a gymnast and a diver. I was a gymnast for over 15 years. I can do a whole series on gymnastics. I don't know what I would talk about, but comment below and let me know what you would like to know about it. My favorite age of life so far, my 40s. Like I said, I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm 44. I'm so happy, and I would say this is my favorite, but I do think it's gonna even get better, which is amazing. Ever have any pets? Oh my gosh, I get asked about pets all of the time. You guys see me with my dad's dog, which was my mom's best friend, Rocket, and he is the cutest. I love him. He hugs me. I hug him. I love dogs. I grew up having a dog my whole life, but I will not be getting a dog or a pet. As you know, I like to travel. I like to go out. I like to do things. I live in a big city. Just for me, having a pet just like doesn't make sense. I'm not a cat person. I just didn't grow up with them. I don't like understand them. A bunch of my friends have cats. I'm allergic to cats. Maybe one day I would get a dog if I had like a backyard and like a partner. That would be nice, but other than that, I will not be getting one. If you could have a second home, where would it be and why? Either the East Coast, which I don't know where, or I would love to have a home, a lake house. I would love to be in like Southwest Michigan. I think it's so pretty. I'd be open to other areas. I feel so calm out there. It's so wonderful. And I think that I will be making a trip out there, hopefully soon. We'll do a couple more. What does your weekend typically look like? My weekends are all different. They're all different. Typically, I don't have a lot of plans on the weekends, but I've been going on some dates lately, so there's been that. But typically, it's like going to the farmer's market, going on long walks. I love a weekend night where I don't have plans. I love staying in. And going to see family. All right, let's finish with this. What is your favorite thing about Chicago? My favorite thing about Chicago, well, it is my hometown, born and raised, always have had a Chicago address. I love the change of seasons. I actually like cool weather. This 103 thing we got going on, not a fan. I would prefer like anywhere from like 65 to 75 would be ideal, but we get a lot of that in Chicago. So I love the snow. I don't like it when it's like negative, when it's like below freezing, but it's also a really good excuse to chill and not go out. So it's not that bad. I love that we have theaters and museums and a lakefront and a river walk and some of the best concerts, sporting events. Like, I love all the things that we have here, and like, it's home. My friends are here, my family's here, and it is just a wonderful place to live. With that, I'm going to end this video. Apparently my camera overheated. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being patient with me. I am excited to create new content for you. Please let me know what types of videos you want to see and be as specific as you can. I would love to do this, and thank you so much, and I am excited to be back.